Paul Devermore, who spoke before me, has been on the Tanzania Investors Roundtable, I think from the inception. We've served together, and I think I support all that he has said about its achievement. But because different countries have different policy environments, and because of the question you asked about the East African community, I thought I needed to tell this audience and yourself something about the history of why these investment advisory councils were first conceived and brought into play in African policy making systems, and what we have achieved and where we'll be going from here. 10 years ago, when we had our first presidential Investors Roundtable, Tanzania was in the midst of reforming its institutions after many years of tinkering with socialism. There was the mindset in the public space was very much of central control. The private sector was not very much in existence and was certainly not a trusted partner for development. And therefore, the coming of the Investors Roundtable was a welcome breath of fresh air. It did expose our public officials to the ability of private sector CEOs to help solve social and economic problems in a country, well beyond their immediate business interests. And a certain amount of trust was built. But at the same time, there are conservative elements who always resisted the involvement of private sector individuals in government policy making, who would try to hijack the agenda of the Investors Roundtable and make it more of a public initiative than a joint public-private initiative. And over time, what we have seen is a deterioration of the quality of dialogue. I think we haven't met in quite some time now, Paul, have we? There hasn't been a meeting the last 2 years. And it has become more a place where people come to share blame rather than generate ideas. So certainly a new impetus is needed. And the momentum, the early momentum that we had is kind of lost. I see the EAC, the East African Economic Community, as a fantastic opportunity for us to start afresh, especially to neutralize the effects of politics in these discussions. When 5 countries come together that have different types of politics, it is possible, I hope, that politics can take a back seat, and that we can talk about issues that interest all of us, issues about the economy, about our social dynamics. And I really look forward to the formation of a single East African Presidential Investors Council, Advisory Council, which I think would be a great innovation if it were to come to pass.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.